Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Too Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I get to welcome back our good friend, actor, stunt performer, producer, director, and about 100 other things, Douglas Vermeeren. So welcome, Doug.
Hey, totally awesome to be back. And you're right. It seems like I always got too many things. People ask me, "What do you do for a living?" And I'm going to say, other than the ADD, which is like ADD in high definition, right? So, yeah, no, it's fun. We're having a good
It
time.
takes
That's for
like
sure.
30 seconds to list everything that you
I
actually
know,
do.
crap. Yeah, and it's funny. It's even worse for my parents. What does your son do? Mine's a lawyer, and they're like, "Well, he does this and that and this and that and that."
He's a Renaissance
So,
man.
I don't know. I'm working at it anyways. I'm having fun, as long as you're having fun, right? So
Well,
that's
yeah, that's
cool.
the main thing.
Yeah,
I always like it because you don't seem to be um, like hesitant to try anything. Like you'll try,
right,
and then
right.
if it works, then that's just one more thing that you do.
I guess. And if it doesn't, we don't talk about it.
That's right. We
And
just
and,
don't mention that.
and you know what's so funny is people ask me, how do you select which projects or movies that you want to do? And my answer is very simple. If it's a movie I'd like to see, I'm going to then do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it's a
Why
project that
wouldn't
I
you?
think would be cool, let's do it. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I always love that about you. You always have like 10 things going on at one time.
It seems like it.
I don't know how you
Yeah.
juggle all of them.
Well, I've actually got a really good team that surrounds me. And funny enough, I just hired a couple of other people. One of them is also my son. So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
just
great.
adding the team. Yeah.
You
Well,
know, there's
I figure if any parents are watching this, your kid's always knocking on your door for money anyway. So you might as well give them something to
you
do,
might as well
right?
put them to work. Well, coming from somebody that works with his son, that's what I
Right.
do on the podcast. It's the
Right.
best. I
It's
love
awesome. It's awesome. And it's funny because we've already had, how should you say, at times our creative differences on different things. And you know what? Sometimes the kid's got a good point. And I
it.
have
Yep.
to admit this that okay, I guess I am getting older and maybe I look at things a certain way
Well,
that
yeah, they
I may be open to it.
kids and they're not really kids, but young
Yeah,
adults at that age, they look at things differently than we did at that age.
right. 100%. And I
Yeah.
think at the same time, like, I don't know, from a movie perspective, like some of the movies that I enjoy and some of the ones that you have on the backdrop of you too, many from that generation are going to say that's a slow burn. Like, so for example, Jaws, well, it takes a while to get there, but that's the
Right.
fun of it. And that's
That
why we
is the
love
fun
those
of it.
movies. But they want sometimes these movies where, yeah, it's like bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, it's not a good movie. It's like, oh yes, it is. I'm like, it's not a good movie, right? So I love having their perspective, but I also love to be able to put in what I call traditional storytelling because I
Yes.
think that's a really strong element to have, right? We can't let that go.
Well, and
So
I think the one of the few good things that came out of kind of COVID is we seem
right,
to be tilting back toward story, character development,
right,
and away from all of the big budget type of movies or the special
right,
effects heavy movies, which are great at times.
right.
But I've always been a fan of a good story, and you don't really need a ton of effects for that.
Yeah, and I agree. I think one of the biggest blessings I think from the COVID thing as much as I love the movie theater experience, I will always love the movie experience. But COVID gave the small filmmakers a chance to kind of bust in a little bit better
Yeah,
because the audiences haven't returned to the theaters as they used to, and people built their home studio systems at home and all these things. And I still, like I say, love the movies. I will always go to the movies. I love
me
the
too.
popcorn. I love the sticky floors. I love
Yeah.
all that shit, right? But there is something to be said now for the doors that have opened for people who have creativity that the studios just never had an open door for. So I'm really grateful for that. You can make a really big business career or an acting career or a film career without having to go through the studio systems now. And what a blessing. The equipment's there, the friends are there to help, everybody's
Well, and
available. And it's great.
there's talented people out there that we were just missing
100%.
before.
I agree with you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
leveled the playing field, leveled the playing field for sure.
Well,
Definitely.
and I think you're one of those talented people, Doug. And I know that you've got your company, Magnificent Films, and the projects that you work on. I always love because they're based around a really good story, and
Thank you.
they all your stuff always has kind of a hook that brings you into it, and I love that. I love that. You pick good projects.
Yeah, and I think honestly, that's one of the things that, I'm not saying that this is a common thing, but I think for independent filmmakers to stand out, it is imagination that wins first because we can't compete on a budget, right? We can't
Right.
show up with a, $300 million Avengers movie
Right.
to put bums in chairs. We've got to come up with those hooks. And so that
Yeah.
idea of creativity and innovation is really important for that world for sure.
Well, and their audiences, we've got imagination. You don't
Right.
have to like
Spoon
show
feed us. Yeah.
everything. You know what I mean? You don't have to dumb it down. You don't have to show
Right.
everything. We'll make the leaps if
Right.
the story's good enough.
Well, that's one of the things that I love in film school that they taught us is that sometimes the best thing is to be like Alfred Hitchcock and don't show all the details.
Yeah.
Like, even if we look at that, famous shower scene in Psycho, she didn't get stabbed once, but in your mind, she sure did, right?
Yeah,
So,
and it's to this day when I watch that, I still close my eyes, and yeah, you
right.
know that nothing. She doesn't get stabbed.
Right. And every time I see that movie, I crave Hershey's chocolate sauce. No, just kidding. But anyways, that's a whole other thing.
That's funny.
Right? But in all seriousness, what a great movie. And by the way, you might not know this, but there's a documentary that's been made. I can't remember the name of it. Elijah Wood is in it. I was talking to him briefly about it once when I met him at a convention. But that's just on that shower scene segment.
Really?
There's a documentary, and I'm just trying to remember what it is. It's
No, I
based on
haven't seen it.
the number of cuts that it is in the edit. It's gonna bug me now. Oh, and I bought it too on
Oh yeah, I'll have to look it
one of the
up
stream
now.
services. But yeah, it's interesting to see because everybody shares how that film changed cinema history entirely. It was incredible.
Yeah, it really did. It like in
Yeah,
several different ways.
right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing, amazing. So today we're talking about Until There Is One.
right.
So tell me about this one. What is Until There Is One about?
Well, here's the deal: is it's maybe another film that we're intending to change cinema history with as well. So it's kind of a cool segue where we're coming from on that. So let me maybe share a little bit of how it came to be about, which actually it includes my son as well, which is really funny. So he and I were walking down the strip in Las Vegas. In fact, if I remember correctly, we were right near the Bellagio fountains.
Yeah.
And we started talking about horror movies and stuff. Maybe it was one of those crazy nuts dressed like Mickey and Minnie Mouse that it's two boys inside there, anyways,
That's
right? We
right.
know this. So, anyways, but bless their hearts. So, don't get too excited about Minnie because it's a
Right.
guy. Anyways, long short. So we were walking along and we started saying, I wonder what the most kills in a horror movie is, like a slasher movie. What's the most
Yeah.
kills? So, of course, we went to our friend Google and we typed that in and we found that there was a movie that won the Guinness Book of World Records in 2011 for the most kills in a slasher film. They
Okay.
came up with a total of 155 kills. And I was like, 155? I was thinking it'd be a heck of a lot more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
That
not
doesn't say. Well, I mean,
right.
that's a lot, but it doesn't. It's not as many as I was expecting.
Right. And so I started talking with him, and he and I back and forth came up, well, what if we were to beat the Guinness Book World Records and come up with a bigger number of kills in a horror movie? How would you do it? And so I started coming up with story ideas. And one of the things that we also thought is, because obviously I'm very connected in the movie business with a lot of really well-known friends who've been part of some big franchises. I thought, you know, what if we did this as like a crowdfunded experience,
Yeah.
and we actually made it so if a fan wanted to get killed by, say, someone who played, say, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw, or somebody from a big franchise, that they could actually, be part of that experience. They could be in the film as someone that is killed. And I started
Okay.
thinking, like, I mean, fans are willing at a fan expo to, contribute a little bit to get their picture taken with one of these actors or to get an autograph or something.
Sure.
But wouldn't it be a much more special experience? Instead of just getting an autograph from them, you're in a dang movie with the guy, right? And you have him kill you,
Yeah, that sounds
right?
awesome.
So I thought that's a great idea, and let's give this opportunity to people. And at the same token, we're going to win the Guinness Book of World Records. You'll have a certificate saying you participated in this big event in cinema history. So I started thinking about what would be a really good story. And so here's the essence of it. And by the way, the trailer is online, so you can type "Until There Is One" pretty much into Google, and you'll find it.
Yep.
So I'm playing a character in the film by the name of Maxie Jinx. And Maxie is basically like Elon Musk. He's got all the money in the world, or Jeff Bezos, all the money in the world. But he's kind of like Mr. Beast. You know, this guy who's running
Oh
these
yeah.
interesting contests on YouTube. And so, like I just read this, or was looking at this one where you have to stand in a circle and you'll win, what was it, $500,000. And the first person that kind of like leaves, he's eliminated. And it goes all the way down to the person who's willing to stand there the most. And I thought, huh, what would somebody like Mr. Beast do for a horror movie? And I thought, what about this? And this is the trailer. You'll see it. He says, "I'm giving away," and Maxie's a real zany character. "I'm giving away $1 million, right? And this money is going to go to one person, and all you have to do is spend one night in a locked room with a serial killer."
Oh,
Now,
that sounds
as you can
hard.
imagine,
That sounds
well,
hard.
for $1 million, people are going to try, right?
Yep.
And so, and I mean, it could be a number of things. They'll come in the room, will say, "Will you split the money with me?" They'll come in the room and they'll bring their own weapons. They'll come in the room, like people have different ways that they would handle that, right?
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, what happens in the film is that they all have to, like, if you want to be part of this experience, you show up at this big arena, and then we'll pick the person that's going to stay. So all the people kind of fill out paperwork, and they're all talking about how they're going to do this, and they come into the arena, and then that's when the doors lock, and Maxie says, "Guess what? We're going to take you all. All of you will be in on this." And the good news is I'm still giving away $1 million. The bad news is the serial killer is already in the room with you, and some of you might also change your mind about how you're going to play tonight. Here's the way it's going to go. The lights will go out, and when the lights go out, anything goes. But when the lights come back, you got to play nice. And at the end of the night, there'll be one person left. And so when we shut out the lights, we do such things as we throw in a thing of box cutters. And then the next round, we throw in, say, maybe a pickaxe or a shovel or a
Yeah.
couple of them. Next round, we throw in some chainsaws. And next round, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, I don't want to give away the ending because there's also a very big twist at the end. But with that, we believe that we're going to easily be able to kill 300 people. And we're going to shoot part of it up in Canada. So we've got a large group of people that are already getting involved.
Yeah.
But we're also going to do something in Las Vegas. I mean, that's where the movie was born after all. But
Right.
it's also an easy place for people to get to from wherever they are in the United
That's
States
right.
or Canada. And I've got a lot of connections there for film. So, people who want to join us there, they'll be part of that. And we've added a bunch of other things to the experience too. So you can, if you want to do some speaking lines in this, we've got opportunities for people who are looking to grow their acting career and also make a demo reel out of this.
Yeah.
We've got opportunities if you're going to get killed by a specific person, that they'll all do lunch together. So it's not just like he's going to show up on set and then he leaves. You're going to get to know these actors. You're going to get to become friends with people like Douglas Tate, who played Jason in Freddy versus Jason and Michael Myers in Halloween Kills, or Matty Carterpole from Stranger Things,
Yep.
who you might remember that he was also in Jurassic World, and he was on Free Guy, and he was on Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate
Yep.
Events. You've got people like Ron Sloan, who was in Friday the 13th Part 5. You've got Lauren Marie Taylor, who was in Part 2 2, but also final chapter. You've got Brett Wagner, who is Leatherface in 2003's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And we've got a bunch of other people coming in, and even some secrets that we haven't told anybody about yet.
Amazing.
And so it's going to be a stellar cast, but it's also going to be a really good time. And naturally, it's funny. This will have a theatrical release. I've already actually done a deal with somebody for doing that, and then we're talking to several distributors right now that want to take it through the streaming services. And so one of the cool things I think about this too, like, I don't know, when I was a struggling actor at the beginning, finding my way, a lot of people didn't believe in me, and they thought you're never going to amount to anything. And I'll tell you what a blessing it was to bring them to a red carpet premiere so that my whole family could see that here I am walking on the red carpet. So we're going to make that experience as well available to everybody. There will be a variety of locations across North America where we will be screening this with a red carpet. And all the cast is invited to come, and their family and friends are welcome to come. So you've got total bragging rights as you have one of these guys get you. And then just imagine this. It's like cinema history. You'll be able to show it back to your kids and your grandkids as, remember when Grandpappy got his throat cut by Jason? Whatever. Like, I mean, these are just fun things, right?
I bet the response you've gotten has been pretty strong.
Well, it's interesting. On the first day alone, because we put it onto TikTok, we had close to 2,000 people who reached out to us. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, the other thing is we're trying to get in as many people as we can, but some of them, like, I won't lie, we got from people from Sri Lanka reaching out to us, and people in the middle of Moscow reaching out to us. And it's tricky to get some of those people over. I mean, if they want to come, they're welcome. And we're happy to have you, but it's just a bigger commitment. And so It's not easy for everybody to say yes to that. But we've got a pretty significant number that's coming in. We are definitely going to get to our 300. And then who knows, maybe we'll pick more. Because here's one of the things I think is fascinating about this is, if the last group that did this, and by the way, they did CG and stuff, so their blood is like CG animated and stuff. And to me, that doesn't count. It's got to be practical. It's got to be done like a real horror movie, right? Can't just be thrown around. But if their last one at 155 kills has stood the test of time since 2011, if we can get to at least 300, maybe even 500, and I'm happy to even try for 1,000, we will own this record till the end of time. And
chances are it's not going to be broken, because just the logistics.
It's crazy.
Take a lot of work.
And you've got to have a story that people are going to want to watch. And if I'm being completely fair, and I mean, no disrespect to the other filmmaker, but their story's okay, but it's not like over the top that, wow, people really want to see that. And the last one never had a theatrical release. I don't believe it's even streaming anywhere right now. I think you might be able to find it on YouTube, but it really did not make a difference for many people.
Yeah.
And so I'm of the opinion that since this is something special, and I take the Guinness Book of World Records seriously, and I also take my movies seriously, we want to create something that everyone involved can be proud of. And it's also something that, 50 years from now, people will look back and say, that's a horror classic.
Right.
Not only did they break the record, but that's a really cool movie, and you should see it. So
that has to be the goal, right? You want it to be around long term. You want people 100%. To be excited to watch it decades from now.
Yeah. And also, like I said, I only want to be in movies that I would watch. Yes. And so that was one of my first things when we were talking about it. My son's name is Jared. When Jared and I were talking about how would we do this movie, I said, well, the first thing is a story. If we don't have a story, I'm not even interested to attempt the record, right? Because there's no point, right? But what's also kind of interesting is I was chatting with the founder of the Calgary Horror Con, the horror convention recently. And he said, that even if somebody comes in, they get to be one of your 300 people, he says, they will also be somebody that eventually, when they have the reunions of these kind of things, all that, you'll be at the convention signing autographs. You're one of the 300, right? Amazing. So I think it's just got a really interesting, how should I say, there's collateral stuff happening that I never expected. So it's going to be pretty big. And I by the way, I know we were talking about Rue Morgue a minute ago in those magazines. I just had Jody actually reach out to me, wants to talk about this too. So chances are they'll be there. In Canada, CTV is talking about broadcasting live, and a couple of other people. So they're going to come on set. So there'll be all kinds of media that follows this too. So it's kind of a big deal. So we're pretty excited.
This was a really good idea on your part, because you've got as much cast as you need,
right?
Because you've made it into a thing. And you're getting free publicity on it. That's smart.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the other thing too is like if you follow any of the celebrities that I just mentioned, like Doug Tate and Maddie Carter and stuff, they're mentioning it all over their socials too.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of like snowballing into something really quite exciting. And yeah, and obviously whoever's watching this, you want to be involved. We'd love to have you, of course. We've got tons of room to kill you. Come on by. We'll hurt you. Like,
You
that
know,
sounds
though,
right.
let's say you get 300 or 500, maybe
Right.
even 1,000. But
Right.
the way you're setting this up, though, if it goes well, people are going to want a sequel.
Well, I guess if you get killed in the first one, I guess you are disqualified from the second one. But I don't know. We'll see. We haven't really thought about a sequel. I mean, when you see how it ends, it definitely kind of does lend itself open to something.
Yeah.
But it's something where we're not building it to maybe turn it into a franchise, although it could. But I think for this, we just wanted to tell a good story, obviously break the record, but also have a good experience for everybody who's coming to participate in this with us. Like if they've never been on a movie set, we want them to have an experience of what it's like to be on a movie set. In fact, one of my friends who's a casting director is also helping us with this. She's done, oh gosh, I want to say at least 300 movies, but she was casting director on Hell on Wheels, which you've probably all heard of. She did all of Heartland for 17 seasons, which is a big Canadian one.
Yep.
She did Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights. She did, like, I mean, the list goes
She's
on.
only been working on little projects. I know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, but here's the thing that I think is neat is Marcy has told me that if we want to do like a set etiquette training, so people who've never been on movies can understand that world a little bit better, we're going to do it. And so here's the other thing is if you're looking at being say an actor full time or working in movies or whatever, there's going to be a really big education component to this too, which I think is great. So you're not just coming, you're killed, and you go home. You'll be with us for a period of time where you're going to feel.
You might be giving some people a career.
I'm hoping, because the truth of the matter is like as a kid when I got started in this, I didn't really understand movies, but I got hooked.
Right.
And if anybody's listening who's ever been on a movie set, whether you've been out even as background, which is important, right? There's no small roles on a movie set. You are required. We need you. But if you've done that kind of thing, even for a day, you're like, this is a fun world. I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's addictive. One of my hardest things about being in movies is at the end of the day when they say you're wrapped, I'm like, but I don't want to go home. Right? I don't want to go home.
Yeah, don't make me go home.
Don't make me go home. But it is a fun world. And of course, I think there's a lot of great friendships that'll also come from this. I know some of my favorite moments now are like if I'm at a red carpet or a movie premiere and some of my friends from other movies show up, it's almost like coming back to summer camp. These are people like that you just really care about and you built a relationship with, and it's exciting to see them again, right?
Well, and you're familiar with how they work, which has to help just the atmosphere on set. If you're having a good time, it probably makes other people less nervous, which makes them better at what they're doing.
Well, what's funny is I was just recently at an event with Cynthia Rothrock, and she's a fabulous, incredible person. And I was one of their bad guys in Black Creek. And by the way, they're talking about Black Creek too. And I should put in a little plug here. Black Creek also just dropped on all the streaming services, and you can grab it too. I think as far as Westerns go, it's rated number 3 of all time, right behind like Pale Rider and stuff like that. So it's doing really well.
Doing pretty well. Yeah.
But the thing that's funny is now we got memories to share. And the last time I bumped into Cynthia, we were talking a little bit about how cold it was at night in Arizona, how after the first night with everybody freezing their butt, like almost the entire cast and crew, the next day you went to Walmart and everybody's there buying out all the long underwear, like as much as they can get their hands on, right? And so you've got these memories that like if someone watches the movie, they don't really understand that. But someone who was there on set, it's like, yeah, I remember that day. I remember that time. And it's really a special bonding thing.
That's right.
And so, yeah, I've got, actually, it's funny because at the Oscars this year, I had Don the Dragon Wilson was sitting at my table right beside me. And he's in that movie too. And we were laughing about some of these things as well. But these are memories, right? We have lots of good times like that. And
I know, that's awesome.
It's half the fun. It's half the fun. Right?
I know all your projects, it just seems like it's just a bunch of friends getting together and working.
Well, I have to admit it is, and I'm kind of like Adam Sandler in the way that I do try to include my friends in my next movies. So if there's ever a home for them, if it works out to get them in, they're in. And it's funny because I'm right now between here and California and Halifax, Canada, shooting 3 movies right now at once. And so I have to go back and do a film called Cowboy Bloodbath. It's basically John Wick in the forest. And yeah, and it's really funny that I'm not the casting director on it,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at the call sheet every day, and I see, like last week, one of my friends, John Azuna, he's a top stuntman, big martial artist, just an amazing guy, but super friend of mine, is on the call sheet. And that day in the movie, we have a fight, so I get to fight my friend. But don't worry, I win because I'm the hero, so I win for sure. Sorry, John, I win. But I'm actually more sorry for this is they have a foam rock that I pick up and I smash him in the head to end the fight. And of course, you have to smash this hard enough to pop the blood bag that he's got mounted on his face. And I clocked him, and I feel so bad about it because even on the ride home, we're in the car. He's like, "Yeah, I just got to tell you, I'm still seeing some stars or whatever." And I'm like, "Nobody let this guy sleep because like we gotta. If he doesn't wake up, I'm gonna feel so bad about it." But we're really, really close friends, so it's just like there's another memory. And it was funny because one of the scenes where he punches me, I've got to spit up blood each time and all this kind of stuff. And one of them, he's grabbing me and throwing me around, and I'm spitting up blood, and I'm spitting blood all over his hands and stuff. And it's like, I'm so glad we're friends. This is just gross, right? This is gross. Actually, the worst spit that I had. If anybody here ever gets a chance, go see the movie The Awakening, where I play a bad guy there too. I just lost the name of my character's name. Alexander. His name's Alexander. Anyways, I'm threatening this guy who's tied up, and it's my friend CJ, who you guys know from that the new Predator movie, the one where the First Nations guys chase him. Anyways, he's one of the French guys in it. Anyways, so I'm threatening him and telling him, you tell me where this plan shit is or the statue or whatever it is, and then he spits in my face. And we couldn't figure out a better way to do it. He actually spit in my face, and the whole time he's getting ready, he's like, I'm working it up. I'm gonna get you to go. Right? It's like, I thought we were friends, man. He's like, oh yeah, we are. We are. So, yeah. So, by the way, that won't happen on Until There Is One, right? We want to build your trust in us first. Then
Nobody's spitting in your face.
not on the first day, anyways. But back to the point. This is what builds friendships. You have these crazy experiences that you share, and you just have these jokes and these laughs about it. But there's a lot of really fun stuff that goes down on movie sets, and I don't know. It's such an incredible and creative world. Like, in fact, I'm on Cowboy Bloodbath. I'm working with this really great gal, Kirsten Normand, and this is her first movie, and she's the love interest to my character in it. But the thing that's so fun is every night after we're done on the set, a bunch of us head into the restaurant slash bar at the hotel, and I've never met a bigger Star Wars nerd than me until I met Kirsten, and we just have the funniest things to chat about. And by the way, if you're watching, Hayden Christensen, she already says she's going to marry you. So just saying,
it's on record now.
You got a stalker that you don't know about. She's coming for you, buddy. Use the force, run as fast as you can. No, she's a cute girl. You'll be happy. But yeah, it's crazy. So anyways, by the way, after I finish Cowboy Bloodbath, one of the other ones that I go to do, everybody probably knows Mickey Mouse is in the public domain.
Yes.
So I'm in the second Mousetrap, which is Mousetrap 2, Welcome to the Mickeyverse, and I play Mr. X. Get it? Mr. X, Mr. X, Mr. X. Okay. And so I can't say too much about the character, but what I can say is that there will be a third one, which I'll also be appearing in, and the third one is going to be insane. The second, it's like Terrifier. They keep getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And so I've got the script actually sitting on my desk right there for Mousetrap Part 2. This is going to be insane, guys. This is going to be crazy. You're going to see not only Mickey create some havoc, but Mickey gets a little bit of crap beat out of him, and he brings a girl named Minnie with him for the first time. And it's going to go nuts. And I'm just telling you, you got to see it. It's going to be something. And
it
right
has
now,
been
by the way,
entertaining.
the
different properties dropping into public domain. It's been
100%. Yeah. In fact, I just got approached the other day, but I'm a little nervous about this, but to be Buck Rogers.
Oh my gosh, you have to do that.
The only problem I'm worried about is I've got my lawyer looking into things. So the early Buck Rogers stuff is public domain, but apparently there's a trademark on the name Buck Rogers. So the trademark is still fully in effect. although the properties itself are in public domain, so can they be used? We don't know. But
That would
if
be
they can
awesome.
be, I'd be honored to play Buck Rogers. I think it'd be amazing. And I'm gonna see if there's any way I can convince the director to get Aaron Gray and Gil Gerard to come and do cameos. Wouldn't
Listen,
that be brilliant?
listen. If you get well, both of them, but especially
Right.
Erin Gray. I have been
Oh yeah.
chasing her forever. You have to bring her on one of these episodes so we can talk.
That's so funny. We will. Actually, do you know who I just ran into the other day at a convention? Is Henry Thomas and Dee Wallace.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Now,
and
Dee, I've
I
had on the show.
Yeah, and I did Boy from Below with Dee, so we did that movie together. So again, the family reunion thing, it was just
Oh,
an awesome connection. But Henry I hadn't met, so Dee introduced me to Henry, and now we've become somewhat friends too. So it's a small world in this movie
that's
business. It is
awesome.
so much
How do you
fun.
get to play Buck Rogers? That would be
I
amazing.
would love it. And no,
Oh.
I'm not going to get a buck. Like I'm not going to get tricky in there. I'm not going
Would
to
you
put that
do
in.
it? Would you do it like kind of those old serials, kind of like
No,
that?
well, I haven't seen a script, to be fair. I
Yeah.
haven't seen a script, but the way I'd like to do it is I actually would like to see Buck Rogers be somewhat of a serious character and
Yeah.
find not the humor like they did with Flash Gordon or that Buck Rogers show. I'd like to see him actually be who he was meant to be. And if you know the original storylines behind it, I know the TV show they had him as an astronaut for NASA was frozen in
Right.
space and found 500 years later and blah 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 blah. But what he was actually a military colonel, and he was put into cryogenic sleep. And when he woke up, what happened in the original story is the Mongols, like Attila the Hun and these kind of guys, had actually taken over most of the world, and it was being ruled by like these Mongolian Huns. And so they, of course, had very brutalistic, barbaric ways of treating humanity, and they basically took what they wanted, pillaged where they wanted, all that kind of stuff. But now when Buck came back, and his first name, by the way, is really Anthony Rogers. Anthony Buck Rogers is
Yep.
his name. So you can see I've done the research because I want to know this character.
That's right.
So he came and he found a group of rebels. Let's call it the Rebel Alliance, if you will, just to give you a little bit of insight. That and it's interesting because Darth Vader was dressed like a samurai, and you've got these rebels. They, from one thing that I read, they said that they took some of those ideas from Buck Rogers, which is interesting. And
That is
George originally wanted to make Flash Gordon, you might remember, but he couldn't get the rights to do it. So he did his own thing and took parts of Buck, parts of Flash, parts of other things and made Star Wars. But anyways, long story short, is what happens is as Colonel Anthony Buck Rogers comes out of cryogenic freezing, he's like, this is not the world that we used to know 500 years later. So he says, I'm going to now teach these people how to fight in a guerrilla military style, and we are going to kick the Huns out of here and take this place back. Rah rah, the American way, right?
I would
And
watch
so
that.
and so I think that'd be kind of cool. But again, it all comes down to, can I actually use the name Buck Rogers?
Right.
But I'm not saying that's the script that we would do or the story we would do, but I'm saying that that's kind of the essence of Buck Rogers before it started getting kind of campy in the 70s and 80s, right? That he was actually really a warrior.
Well,
And
that was
almost,
kind of the
yeah.
70s sci-fi was campy.
But it was fun, and I
It was
love those
fun.
shows, right? Like I love those shows,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll even still watch them today. It's hilarious. Whenever I'm like late night at the end of the day, and I just want something relaxing, I will put on some of those kind
Oh,
of
I do
shows,
too.
right? Because
I'm
it's super, and it's nostalgic, right? Because
yes.
I mean, I was really, 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 really little, even when things like the $6 Million Man were out and all that stuff. But it's still special to me. But I have to admit, as I watch it as an adult, sometimes I'm a little confused how this really became a hit, right? Like, how did that happen? And then even the special effects. Like I was just watching John Saxon the other day. Remember when he was that bionic dude? They took off his face.
Oh, yeah.
Or in Westworld when Yul Brenner did it, takes off his face. Like that's the thing. It was like every second movie had a human android that took off his face. But it is creepy, but it wasn't like as a kid. I remember that kind of scared me. Like I still remember Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Remember when all those people took off their mask and it was those zombie android type people or whatever? That used to scare the crap out of me. And then when I watch it as an adult, I'm like, how? Like, that's like, I don't know. I bought the same makeup kit that they did there over at the dollar store a few hours ago, right? Like it's like it's not. But
well, it's kind of like
in the
if
day
you
it was
watch
genius.
like 80s horror.
Right.
At the time, very scary and hard to watch. But you can watch it now and it's It's like,
Well, it's funny you say that because I was watching They Live,
Yep.
John Carpenter's They Live with
Yep.
Roddy Piper, and some of those makeup effects. I don't know if they were really honestly trying to make me laugh or if they were sincerely trying to be scary, but I giggled my way through that one.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. It's a blast, right?
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, there's a charm that comes with those kind of effects. And who
Agreed.
knows, maybe even until there's one, we'll try and do some of those kind of effects, but everything will be legit blood, legit cuts, legit, like all that will be legit. We don't want to skimp on that kind of stuff, but that's the charm of it, right? And there's nothing here's a fun movie memory. There's nothing more exciting than being covered in blood and having to go back to your hotel room at the end of the shoot. Did I ever tell you? So I was doing this movie for the Mahals called Bikers versus Werewolves. That's
Yep.
seriously the title, Bikers versus Werewolves. And I play this character Callum, who is a werewolf hunter. Anyways, I'm staying at the Sahara that time because that's closest sort of off the strip to get on the road to this place.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, at like 2 a.m, I came home and I did not wash all the blood off. And I'm walking through the casino on my way to the elevators, and people are just like, it's like awesome. I'm like, I'm okay. I promise I'm okay. I'm okay. And then even at Cowboy Bloodbath, like I'm covered in blood because I have all these fights all the time. And I go into like the gas station to get myself a Slim Jim or whatever and a couple of, I don't know, soda or something. And people are just like, and I'm like, nah,
Are
seriously,
you okay?
we're doing a movie. We're doing a movie here, right? So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, you never
But,
know. You see somebody
right.
like that and you think, well, they're probably doing a movie or something, but you don't know for sure.
Right? And they get people who watch when you go back to the car to make sure that you're okay or that
Right.
everyone inside is okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do we need to call somebody?
Right. Actually, what's kind of funny with Cowboy Bloodbath, I was walking in a kind of like a little grocery store, and I had Kirsten with me, the girl who's in it. Now she didn't get bloody, but I get bloody. And all the guys would kind of look because she's dressed kind of cowboyish Western and I'm dressed cowboyish Western. And every once in a while when a guy would look at me, I go, she beats me, but we're working it out. Right. She beats me, but we're working it
That's
out.
awesome.
Or I just kind of stand there and go, yes, dear, to everything that she says. Right? I don't know. I probably should be more careful with that. But we're having fun. It's a joke, everybody. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I love the fact that you always have such a good time on
Right.
films. And I'm sure that carries over to everybody that's on set with you. And
We do have fun.
It's probably the reason when you ask all these friends to do movies with you, they say yes.
Yeah, and we do have fun, and everybody comes to the table with silly jokes. Like we just did one in Hamilton, Ontario, called Saturday Bite Fever instead of Saturday Night Fever. And I'm a vampire in it. I play this guy named Michael, and we took forever to get the contacts in. I just had a hard time with it. And then they put these crazy nails on me, and then they put the fangs in, and I do genuinely look terrifying. I look scary as can be, but I start talking with a lisp, and I start pretending that I'm gonna come and get you. I'm gonna bite your neck. And so everybody's trying to be serious in these stupid scenes, and I'm delivering my lines like that, right? And the next thing you know, the other vampires start doing crap too, and now the director's mad because we got to rein it in, everybody, right? But we're having a good time. And by the way, it's funny because this director and writer is doing all kinds of like a series of vampire movies, but with the word bite replacing something in. So, for example, they did Silent Bite, which is a Christmas movie. It says Silent Night. And in the works, he's got Bite Club instead of Fight Club. And so I'm coming into all of these. Like I'll be in all because I think it's fun. It's fun. It's just like kind of vampire twist on everything. But they're not per se comedies.
Yeah.
They're basically how should we say, just a really cool vampire story that steals elements of that, right? So I don't know, it's just kind of funny.
I know you always have the best projects.
Well, it's because I've got cool friends, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, and I'm assuming, because you're always involved in so many, but I'm guessing that you have to pass on a lot of them because of the time constraints.
Yeah, there's that for sure. And then I'll be honest, sometimes the script comes through and it's not always my cup of tea, but I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I'm just going to say it's it doesn't resonate with me in the way that I need it to in order to be able to dedicate the time and effort. Because the thing that people maybe don't understand, and this is a good example, even with that script that's sitting over there, Sometimes I'll have a script from, it'll occupy 6 to 3 months of my life generally.
Yeah.
And I'm also not just learning lines, I'm becoming that character. It's somebody that I kind of, in a way, I know this sounds a little bit weird. I almost allow that essence of that character to become me for a time. And so if it's not a person that I like or I want to be around or give space in my life, it's very difficult to want to give up that
Right.
space or that time or that 3 months to be that character. So I am pretty choosy, and I don't know. I mean, if a friend asks, it's always hard to say no to a
Right.
friend specifically, but I try if I can do it. If it's something that I can make work, I will do it. And then another thing too is that sometimes, like, I just had two student films, two guys who were in high school, two different guys in high
Yeah.
school. They want to do a movie. They had no money, and that's fine. But they had really good scripts, and I thought, I want to support these guys. I want to help them
Oh,
out as
good for
best as I
you.
can. And so
Yeah.
I went out and I did it. Now I have to admit, I did read the scripts for one of them. I read the script. Um, and I didn't have a chance to really learn it. And so they actually wrote out cue cards on poster paper and actually held them just off camera. And I'm really good at teleprompters and cue cards.
Yeah.
So I just had to find the character and not worry about the lines. And then as I was there, I would kind of do a glance off camera and then come back and kind of share it. But I could capture what my line needed to
That's
be.
awesome. Yeah.
Right. So, but it was fun, and I hope these guys win some awards at the film festivals. I hope they do really well, and I think like I try to help everybody, especially if they're kids that I think have got a lot of talent and
Yeah.
going to go someplace. Because I don't believe in the film business. If you start here today, that's not where you're going to wind up. You're going to be somewhere
Right.
else tomorrow.
Great.
And what an honor it would be. Like, for example, if I had participated, say, in one of the student films of say, Martin Scorsese. What a neat thing to say that you worked with Martin before he was
Right.
Martin, right? It would have been
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
It would
because
have
you
been really,
never
really cool.
know how
Right,
somebody's or where somebody's going to end up.
right,
You might be
right.
working with them again, and they may be much more famous at that time.
Yeah, and I've also had it in movies, and I would imagine even on Until There's One, there's probably some people that are going to come out on that maybe this is the beginning of a big film career for them. Maybe this is where they decide this is what I want to do for a living. And if
Yeah.
that's it, like, I mean, it's amazing. And by the way, something I was talking on another podcast earlier this morning about this, they're talking about, yeah, but these crowd-funded movies, people are paying to be in a movie. Well, I'm saying, you're paying for acting classes too, but you don't get a movie at the end of that, do you?
Well, that's
Right?
it. I mean, this seems
Right?
like a win-win for everybody. If
Right.
you're an actor, it gives you that
Right.
exposure. You're helping to fund the project. I mean,
Right.
I I don't see
And
a
you're getting
downside to it.
the lessons. And the thing that's interesting, what a lot of people don't realize about the industry, if we were to look again at actors that fund their own projects, like if you're an actor and you're not making a movie right now or in a movie right now, you should be making a movie.
That's right.
And if you look at, like, Tom Cruise paid for all the Mission Impossibles, that came out of his pocket and his friends funded it. Or even things like Adam Sandler, all his Happy Gilmore movies, that's him and his friends. He puts his money there. Drew Barrymore with the Charlie's Angels movies and
Yeah.
Home Fries and all these others, they put their money in there. So just take a look at the credits a little bit more regularly, and you'll see so and so's name as an executive producer or a producer. That means that they have either brought their own money to the table or brought their friends' money to the table. And that's just kind of the way show business works. If you've got an idea for a story and you want it to be made, it's your responsibility not to wait for permission to make the movie or not to wait till someone invites you to make the movie or whatever. If you have an idea for something and you know this should be your career, you've got to take that into your hands and you got to make it happen. And like I said, instead of paying for acting classes, which I think are great, so do take acting classes. I'm not going to say no to that. But instead of taking acting classes, go get yourself in some of these movies. You can find them on places like Indiegogo or other crowdfunding sources.
Yeah.
That's a great place to not only network, which, if you think about it, in this business of film, it's not what you know, it's who you know,
That's right.
right? So that gives you a chance to network when you're in these crowdfunded movies, but it also gives you the schooling and the education that goes with it. Plus, at the end, you're in a movie. You've got an IMDb
That's right.
credit. You've got a demo reel ability. You've maybe got photo stills that you can use. If the movie turns off to be a hit, suddenly you're bankable to
Yep.
some extent on smaller movies. I mean, it's a progression. You're climbing the ladder, and I think that, quite frankly, even the unions have it wrong. They should be allowing actors to have more control over their destiny and build projects.
Agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think the unions, yes, maybe they're there to protect actors, but at the same time, they're handicapping them just as bad. In my opinion, and I mean, no disrespect to the union people, but the moment that YouTube went live and they knew that movies could now be streamed and that individuals could make movies, they should have said, okay, I guess, guys, we need to build some rules so that this can happen, because we don't want to hold back the creativity of people.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but you're exactly right. Yeah,
Right?
the
They should have
worst
seen it.
thing that can happen is that you're holding back creativity.
You're holding back creativity. And if you think about, like, I look at it this way, if you look at all the major creative people that changed the world, if we even go back to Pablo Picasso, or, Rubens, or, Da Vinci, and any of these guys, not one of them was a member of a union. They didn't have to ask for permission to become creative. They would just do it. And the
Yeah.
same thing is true. There's not a union for musicians that keep, like, yes, there are these bodies that govern the publication rights and all these kinds of things, but no one says that you can't write a song. But for
Right.
movies, they do say that. They say you cannot, you're a union member and you cannot go and do your own thing. I couldn't even produce my own movies as a union member,
Yeah,
right? I
that
couldn't
doesn't
do
seem
it.
right.
No, it doesn't seem right. And so I think also, if we look at the future of things, yes, AI is coming. It's going to be a difficult thing to navigate, but I also think not as difficult as people think, because just like with any other visual effects and things, it's in the hands of the artist, it'll look great. In the hands of somebody amateur, it'll look like crap. And
Right.
so it will be something that supplements a story. I don't believe it will overtake a story, because it won't have that strength, right? It'll be forgettable. Like, even if you watch right now how they do those Panavision clips, this is Star Wars, what it looked like in the 1950s. You laugh, you smile, but you're there because it was Star Wars. And then as it moves on, you remember snippets of it, but there was nothing super memorable about it. That's what AI does. It can only take from what's being.
That's right.
It
That's
can't.
exactly right.
And so there will be these spikes of human ingenuity of, say, Avatar comes along, or a new Titanic, or, boy, I'm doing all the James Cameron films, or Jurassic Park, or, right? There'll always be something that comes in that disrupts what has already
Yeah.
been. So AI, I don't think, is going to be a threat for real creative people. And then I also think that with ACTRA and SAG and a lot of these unions, they don't understand that no one's watching movies on broadcast television anymore. It's like, when was the last time you watched TV? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. It was probably a sporting event if it was live.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And even then, Netflix is taking over those too. Right. But people aren't watching broadcast TV. So the royalties and residuals are not there like they used to be. And if you go to the movie theaters, even today, Superman is a great example of one that's doing well. Right. So they've got a
Right.
pretty full house right now. And F1, great movie. But a lot of the other movies that are in the theater, you'll walk in and there'll be 4 or 5 people sitting in that auditorium, and that's it. So the money is not there in the theaters anymore either, like it used to be, which is a real shame, because that breaks my heart. The
Yeah.
movies and streaming. But here's the deal: is if you're paying $20 a month for Netflix, you're probably watching 20 movies. So how does that movie take its little dollar? And it doesn't even get that, because Netflix takes a profit.
Right.
Let's say 50 cents, and you divide it against all the actors that are in that film, your royalty checks are going to diminish
Yeah,
the
it's not
day of
going
the
to go
movie
very
star.
far.
No, and this is it. Like, the day of movie stars, I keep seeing this online that's saying Tom Cruise is the last big movie star, and I kind of agree.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's going to do a $20 million paycheck like he did. In fact, if we look at the pay has been publicized on what the guys in Superman made. Nicholas Holt was the biggest paid guy now. He's $2 million.
Yeah.
Everybody else was around 750 or less.
Yeah.
And so here's the deal. When you go to Netflix, you're not like looking for the latest Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt movie. You're looking at the little thumbnail. You're saying, what can I watch as I cook dinner?
Yeah, you're right.
And even then, you're sitting on your phone while you're watching whatever series you're watching. People are like, their attention split that way. And so what people like Netflix, in my opinion, are probably looking for. Now, I hope one of the executives calls me and tells me I'm wrong, so he can tell me what I need to make for him.
That's right.
But in all seriousness, what they're wanting is something that's going to immediately catch attention, right? Something that's got some kind of an intriguing twist or plot. And, I think the biggest genres right now, it's going to be like horror, sci-fi, and action are the biggest. Comedy does pretty well too, but comedy doesn't translate well in other markets, right? Because, we have a different sense of humor than, say, the Koreans or whatever, you fill in the blank. So comedy translates weird. But, Netflix is wanting a show that in the first 3 minutes, people are absolutely captivated. So they got to figure out how the story ends. And they aren't looking for necessarily a name actor. They're looking for competence.
That's
They're
right.
looking for quality, like a film that's great, but it doesn't have to be the most expensive people doing this. And so I think this whole industry is going to change. And that's why I also believe that the smart actor nowadays is also got his foot in writing and producing.
Well, I
Right.
talk with actors all the time, and I've said
Right.
that before is
Right.
if you don't have something going on, you better be doing something on your own
Right.
to keep your your creative outlet out there
Right.
while you're waiting, or else what are you doing? You're just missing that those downtimes. You don't have a lot of control over them, so when you're in them, you need to be doing something.
Well, I also feel that you need to have ownership in the intellectual property as well. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
being a writer or a producer in it, because if I'm just going out as an actor on the set and I get my say daily rate and maybe an agreement for residuals. First of all, there's no uh, guarantee I'm even getting residuals if the
sure.
film isn't any good, but you're going to have a really hard time surviving on what the SAG basic rate for the day is on for most actors. And
Right.
until you really get to that level where you can negotiate at a higher thing where you've proven yourself as a box office entity, or let's call it streaming entity now, you're really kind of stuck with what those rates are. So you better be producing or at least owning the IP so you can sell it wherever you want and get the true residuals. So the game has totally changed. I don't know. I mean, I'm having fun, but I also am optimistic. Like, I think this is the best time in the history of movies to be involved because the doors are open to everyone. Like I said, the playing field is very level now. The equipment's there. You can do things on lower budgets. You don't have to have the big stars. And even then, some of the big stars are recognizing the importance of independent film and are finding their way into it too, right? So, I mean, it's an incredible time in movies. It's awesome right now.
Well, and I always love talking with you, Doug, because your perspective on everything, I always learn something with
But I
that.
don't know if I'm right, by the way. That's just my opinion. I should tell you that. All the crap I just said may
Well,
be
yeah,
entirely
the way
wrong.
you say it though, I'm like, I believe it.
I can sell it pretty good, can I? But in all seriousness, I do feel like that's kind of where the industry is going. And I think it's interesting because this is not the first time the film business has had to do an interesting
That's right.
pivot. And if you think about even the some of the big blockbusters like that came through the Spielberg and George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese and all that, those guys are all like children of a studio shift
Yeah.
and where the studios had a different creativity. And then if we kind of look, like it seems like about every 10 or 15 years maybe there's a big studio shift. When video came out, let me even take it back. When TV came out, everybody thought that was the end of cinema,
That's right.
right?
You're exactly
Because who
right.
who
Yeah.
wants to go? And then same thing when VHS came out. Everybody thought that was the end of cinema, but all of a sudden we had a whole new home video market of filmmakers that could produce films for under $1 million, and we'd have some incredible films that
Yeah.
came out. In
Well,
fact,
we
I was
all
just
remember going to Blockbuster and you're
right.
picking films based on just the cover
And the back.
and the
It's
back.
kind of funny. I won't lie. I had a friend I was talking the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, we'd also pick it because we knew which girl was going to be topless inside." Now, the funny thing is, I did have a bit of a conversation with somebody on that the other day. Uh, Honestly, I'm not a prude, but I'm of the opinion that stuff it doesn't really sell movies, and especially in this era. Like if somebody wants something, they can just go find it for free on some porn
That's right.
site.
That's right.
So that's not really like that industry has shifted. But what I see is the big shift now kind of happening today is because of the internet and streaming. I mean, a person doesn't even need a distributor. You can self-distribute or use a service like Film Hub or another aggregator, and you're on Amazon. You're uploading your own movies. iTunes will take your movies. Obviously Netflix is a trickier game to get in, but there's Hulu and Tubi and Paramount Plus and everybody. There's a million of them. Disney Plus, they're all there. So there's just so many avenues of where your film could find a home. And with the personal development ones that I did, when I couldn't necessarily find a home or didn't want to, I just built my own portal and I took on
Yeah.
my own social media ads, and we did pretty good. Like I did one movie where, no kidding, the movie literally cost me about maybe 50 to 100 to make, and we ended up doing $3.6 million on it
That's
on my
awesome.
own
Yeah,
with
that's
Facebook
amazing.
ads, with Facebook ads, right?
Well, it just
So,
shows that it's possible
right,
to make a good, profitable,
right.
cheaper made movie.
Right. And this comes back to that idea that I was talking about earlier. How important is imagination? I'm telling you, because
Yeah.
if you can find a way to create a hook and if you can find a way to tell the story and then find a way to capture it and edit it in such a way that it's got a specific charm to it, um, it can go a long ways. It can go really long ways. And that's not a new thing. That's always been in the movie industry. Look at even Night of the Living Dead. Such a creative movie, such a life-changing movie. like industry changing movie. I don't think it gets enough credit for what they did there. But the
Yeah,
reality
great.
is it started a whole incredible genre. And I think we're in that kind of space now. And I think I can't remember who it was that I was listening to, but he was talking about if you're a filmmaker, there's really no excuse because everybody has a phone, every phone has a camera, every camera records video, and there's a million and one free softwares for editing. All you got to do is come up with a good story
Yeah.
and then get to work on how you're going to shoot it,
Yeah.
right? And even if you don't shoot it, they call the full feature, they call that a short. And
That's
there's
right.
places for those too. And
Yeah.
you can put anything up on YouTube. And I promise you, it doesn't take much imagination to get better than some of these kitty cat videos or somebody doing a movie of their lunch, which I've
Yeah.
seen.
Agree.
Right?
Agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Doug, thank you as always for taking a little bit of time. So the new one is Until There Is One. So
Right.
if we want to find out more about that, or if maybe we want to participate, where do we go?
I'm going to say there's a couple places you could go. It is listed on Indiegogo right now, so you can go there Until There's One. You could also Google the title, and it'll give you a bunch of access to trailers and other sources to connect with. And then our studio, Magnificent Motion Picture Works, is on Instagram. I'm going to encourage people to follow that and send us a direct DM, and we can talk about how you can get involved and get you talking with one of our casting team and make arrangements for you to become part of this historic movie.
I love that whole model. That's very exciting, and you could do that for all kinds of different movies.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I love that.
And I think this is the coolest thing too. So just to kind of share something that I really find valuable about getting involved in these movies at an indie level, you'll make friendships. And I've got some guys like Adam Jack. I've done like 4 movies with him now. Chris
Yeah.
Sanders, I did a bunch of movies with him. The Mahals, I did a bunch of movies with them. Sean Phillips, I've done a bunch of movies with them. So here's the deal: is if you're really looking to do this as a career, you get saddled up with a couple of these guys. I mean, Simon Phillips has got me on his 3rd or 4th movie too. So once you become kind of in their circles, they know who you are, they can see your work ethic, they can see your passion for films, you build those friendships. This might be the beginning of your whole movie career, right as it is. Like you may not have to go out and worry too much about looking for work or looking for other connections, because could be all right here. And by the way, I had a kid on my set one time of a movie that I was producing, and we got along really, really well. We started connecting, and suddenly we're doing a movie together, and it's one that we co-wrote. So you never know where it's going to go, right?
Yeah.
You can come on the set as, a background performer, and suddenly you're in a big movie, right? So you just never know what's going to happen. Bottom line is, if you don't try, you'll never know.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Doug,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I can't wait to see what you do next, but I'm sure you'll come back and talk about it. So it's
Cool.
win-win for me.
And by the way, I'll say this: if you want to come out on the set and be there and maybe do a broadcast or something, I'll have you on the set. Why not? You can interview everybody. We'll get you bloody. We'll kill you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Easy peasy. Let's do it. For sure.
I can get to Vegas.
It's easy. It's easy, right? Yeah. That's it. And then what we'll do instead of walking through the casino is we'll walk to the pool all bloody. See what people say. That'd be awesome.
I'm in. I've always said that I'd make a good body.
Well, here's the thing:
a lot of lines to say, but if you need somebody dead, I can be a dead person.
We'll put on our Elvis jumpsuits and we'll head over to the Westgate and we'll do that. Now, I don't know if you knew this, so here's something funny. Some of your listeners may not know, but I don't know if you ever heard, but Elvis Presley is actually one of my cousins.
No,
So I'm a cousin
really?
to Elvis Presley. Yeah, and so I had one of my other cousins. I have actually some of Elvis's rings in the other room, but these are some of his original karate patches.
Oh my goodness!
So that's Elvis, and as you can see on
Amazing.
the suit, he's actually wearing them, but he just gave them to me, and this one he signed, so you can kind of see that Elvis signed that.
Oh,
But
my God.
those are 3 karate patches that were on that karate outfit that he's wearing
Amazing.
there. And he trained Kempo, is what his big martial art was that he trained. So, but yeah. So I'm a cousin to Elvis. So
Yeah, you should be
Hold on,
advertising
hold
that
on, baby.
more. I would be bringing
should
that
I?
up more often.
Probably get more female attention. Hey,
That's
and yes, I am single. So there you go. Is this Michael Wall's dating service? Is
That's
this how it
right.
goes?
That's right.
Hi,
I'm just trying to
name's
find
Doug.
matches for people.
Right. My name's Doug. I'm a Cancer. Right. I enjoy
Elvis is
long
my
walks in the
cousin.
park.
No
Elvis
big
is my
deal.
cousin. I enjoy long walks in the park. I listen to Elvis music, of course, and I don't know, love sushi and other food. Anyway,
I can take you on a date and have you killed off in a movie.
Oh, there you go. Right? Like, why not? That'd be super fun.
Well, Doug, thank you so much. Let's do it again soon.
100%. Always fun and always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great. Okay, hold on one second. I always have the best time when Doug comes on the show. He is so talented. He's a terrific actor, like outstanding. But I don't think that's where his best talent lies. He's one of those people that just bring people together, and which is why I think he's such a terrific filmmaker. He just gets it. He makes it fun. Whatever you're doing with Doug, it's going to be fun. You can count on that. But it's going to be professionally done, and it's going to be well received, whatever the genre is. He's so talented and so versatile. I always love having Doug on. If you're interested, especially if you're already an actor or maybe just getting started as an actor, go check out Until There Is One and get yourself on that film. I mean, who wouldn't want to be killed by a horror film star or a scream queen or whatever it is? Absolutely, Until There's One. Get yourself on that film. If I get the chance, I'll be out there. So you may see me out there as well. Thank you guys for tuning in again this week. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Really helps us out. It's free. Our website's meistercon.com. We've got, I can now say we've got over 1,000 episodes on there, audio and video versions. So please check us out, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.